What's up guys? Today I'm going to be starting a new video segment explaining the lesser iconic moves and techniques from all of Dragon Ball. Whether they are canon or non-canon, we're going to be covering them all throughout this series. For the first video, we're going to start with the Dragon Fist. But first and as always, cue the intro. The Dragon Fist is one of Goku's most powerful moves, yet it only appears in movie 13, The Wrath of the Dragon, and throughout Dragon Ball GT. We've also seen Goku use this technique while in his Super Saiyan 3 and 4 states. The Dragon Fist is Goku's deadliest move, since it's the only attack in his arsenal that's sole objective is to kill his opponent by piercing through them with a single punch. Unlike all of his other moves or techniques, and to name a few such as the Kamehameha Wave, the Solar Flare, the Kaioken, the Explosive Wave, the Spirit Bomb, or the Evil Containment Wave, they've either been taught to him or it was someone else's technique which he ultimately ended up stealing. Now this would be one of the few that he learned on his own, and even though Goku has used some of the mentioned moves above to end the fight or to kill his opponent, like when he used the instant transmission Kamehameha Wave on Perfect Cell, or the Spirit Bomb against Vegeta, Frieza, or Majin Buu. At best, he was able to stun his opponents with those attacks, with the exception of Kid Buu. Based on its track record, the Dragon Fist is more destructive than any of these other attacks. When using the Dragon Fist, Goku only needs one punch to connect with his opponent for it to be successful. His punch is then transformed from a single punching strike to having the force of a golden dragon behind it, piercing right through his opponent. Unlike all of his other techniques and attacks, the Dragon Fist was unsuccessful only one time, and that was during his fight with Omega Shenron. Omega only survived the attack because he had regeneration on his side. Otherwise, the attack could be considered successful. With all of this said, how strong is the Dragon Fist? We first saw the Dragon Fist in movie 13, Wrath of the Dragon, which took place after the Buu Saga. So to calculate the potential, we're going to have to create some sort of baseline to Hirudegan's power. We know that during the Buu Saga that Ultimate Gohan was the strongest of the Z Warriors. Then we have Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and following him is Super Saiyan 3 Goku in last place. When Hirudegan first appears and has both of his halves combined, none of the Z Warriors are able to even hit the monster, except for the two key attacks from Vegeta. Trunks and Goten then decide to fuse into Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. After teasing him and gaining an advantage point, he was able to use a double lethal missile attack, and Hirudegan turned to stone or to a shell of some sorts. So Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks was the first of the warriors to get some sort of upper hand on the monster, placing Hirudegan's first form below Gotenks. But it didn't take long before the shell was broken and the real Hirudegan was born. This form overpowered Gotenks with one attack, forcing Goten and Trunks to defuse after the blow. So Hirudegan's true form is definitely stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. In the next scene, Ultimate Gohan is caught in a tail hold and is unable to get out of it. He was then thrown and fell unconscious. Goku then steps in with the key attack, but the attack was dodged and he was quickly tossed aside as well. Now we can estimate that Hirudegan's second or true form is stronger than Ultimate Gohan based on these movie events. Tapion then steps in and uses his magic flute to seal Hirudegan in it once more. After Tapion asked Trunks to finish the job by killing him with his sword so that Hirudegan would be gone forever. Faced with this grim task he was asked of, Trunks hesitated long enough for Hirudegan to escape and break through the magics within the flute, simultaneously also destroying the flute. After being released from the flute, Hirudegan's first action was to kill Hoi, and that's exactly what he did. Now as Super Saiyan 3 Goku was distracting Hirudegan, Trunks was able to cut his tail off. And that was when Goku and Gohan figured out the monster's weakness. Goku stated that intense emotions drain its energy. That's when it could be attacked. Through a handful of insults and also absorbing Hirudegan's attacks, Goku was able to make the monster vulnerable for an attack. And here is when we finally saw the Dragon Fist in action. So only judging from this point, Hirudegan was stronger than any of the other fighters. And even though Super Saiyan 3 Goku was nowhere near Hirudegan's level, with the help of Hirudegan's tail being cut, being taunted, and having an opening exploited, the Dragon Fist was strong enough to defeat the monster. So now we can estimate the power behind the Dragon Fist being stronger than Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and even though Super Saiyan 3 Goku is weaker than them, it still makes the Dragon Fist stronger at this point since it took down Hirudegan. So at this point, solely comparing the Dragon Fist and its power, it would be a class above all of these fighters and obviously Hirudegan himself. So now we're going to move into Dragon Ball GT, that way we can explore the next time that Goku used the Dragon Fist. The next time we see the Dragon Fist technique is during the Super Android 17 saga. And we're going to go into detail into the fight to see how much the technique has improved since we first saw it against Hirudegan. Goku starts his fight against Super 17 as a Super Saiyajin, but as this proves ineffective, he transforms into a Super Saiyajin 4. Once transformed, Goku is able to fight completely on the same level as the android. However, Super 17 has been absorbing all of the energy attacks that Goku has been unleashing on him. And by the time Goku realizes this, Super 17 has absorbed enough energy to grow much stronger and overwhelm Goku. Goku now attempts to sacrifice himself to destroy Super 17, but it's unsuccessful since 17 put up an energy barrier that protected both of them from the explosion. But before 17 could obliterate Goku, Android 18 came to Goku's aid and berates 17 for losing his independent will and murdering her husband Krillin. This facilitates a falling out which sees Super 17 turn the attack on Dr. Mew, killing his second creator as well. They resume the fight and Android 18 continues to distract 17 by shooting energy blasts. And that's when Goku is able to realize that Super 17 is in his absorbed pose. He creates a shield around him to prevent the energy blast from reaching him. And as he's laughing hysterically all the while. It is at this point that Goku realizes Super 17's sole weakness. When he's absorbing energy, he's actually vulnerable to any attacks. So Goku charges at 17 with the Dragon Fist, and he blows a hole right through him. He then shoots a powerful Kamehameha wave that finally kills the android once and for all. It is later explained that Android 17 had been influencing Super 17 to reveal his weakness and leave himself vulnerable to an attack. Now, whether we consider the Dragon Fist that killed Super 17 or the fact that 17 allowed Super 17 to reveal his weakness, thus allowing him to be killed, regardless, this still shows exactly how deadly the Dragon Fist really is. The last fight that we're going to talk about is during the Shadow Dragon Saga, and that's when Goku is initially met by Nova Shenron. Now, Nova Shenron in his shell form has the power to be on par with base Goku, and is described by Goku as already having leagues of power above the previous Shadow Dragons that he faced. In his true form, Nova is one of the strongest Shadow Dragons, period, only behind Sin Shenron. It is stated that he possesses less power than Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but is faster than him. Now, the only reason why he's faster is because Goku's stamina was greatly diminishing due to his growing hunger at the time. Unlike most of his fellow dragons, he is proficient in martial arts, and that allows him to pose an even greater threat because he doesn't have to rely on his devastating elemental powers. His immense speed even caught Omega Shenron off guard in this one occasion. With all of these abilities at his disposal, Nova is the only Shadow Dragon able to match Super Saiyan 4 Goku in a fair fight. That is, because all of the other Shadow Dragons relied on either clever tactics, dirty tricks, or some sort of lucky circumstance to get an advantage. Now, after coming back to life with negative energy from Omega Shenron, Omega states that Nova's power has increased enough to easily defeat both Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now, we're also introduced to Ice Shenron, which is Nova's twin brother, and he's also a strong fighter who musters the ability of ice to eliminate his enemies. And he's also arguably one of the mightiest Shadow Dragons as well. Despite not being as powerful as Shin Shenron, he does have enough power to inflict damage on Goku in his Super Saiyan 4 state. Though he only did so when the Saiyan was unable to defend himself because he was either protecting his granddaughter Pam or when both of his arms were frozen. Ice Shenron is third in strength among the 7 dragons and will use anything or anyone within reach to achieve victory when overwhelmed in a battle. When he first blind Super Saiyan 4 Goku, it cut Goku's power in half, leading Ice to believing that he would win. However, even with only half of his power, Goku was still able to destroy him. Ice begs Nova to help him somehow escape, and despite thinking that Ice brought the punishment upon himself, Nova asks Goku to let Ice go, providing he gave up the corrupt Dragon Ball. Ice quickly agrees and offers up the 3-star Dragon Ball. However, the battle is not over yet. Having embedded his fingers within the icy ground, Ice turns his hand into a deadly blade and strikes Goku across the ice, blinding him. Ice lunges at the disoriented Saiyan, only to receive a retaliating blow straight through his chest, and promptly he collapses. The blow was, of course, the Dragon Fist. After explaining that all of his other senses are easily as sharp as the sight, Goku disintegrates Ice Shenron with his mighty Dragon Fist. So here, despite being at a huge disadvantage and losing his eyesight and having his power cut in half, Goku is still able to win by the Dragon Fist.
Now, since Ice is the 3rd strongest of the Shadow Dragons, he has to be the toughest opponent Goku faced and used the Dragon Fist on, with the exception of Omega Shenron. Now, I don't want to consider the attempt on Omega Shenron since he was able to regenerate right after that blow completely. And since he has this regeneration characteristic, it's hard to say how powerful the Dragon Fist was. But this is going to be the only time that the Dragon Fist was unsuccessful. Now, in my opinion, the attack seems like Goku's most powerful one, since we can't exactly consider the Spirit Bomb's power all stemming from Goku independently, since it comes from everyone and everything around him, and he's the one that has to push this ball of energy onto his enemy. Now let me know what you guys think about Goku's Dragon Fist in the comment section below. Do you agree with what this video had to say? Do you not? Let me know what your thoughts are. Or don't forget to also like and subscribe to my channel to see more of my content in the future. But until the next one, see you later everyone.